Good morning, everyone. And thank you to Carrie and Trish for the invitation and the generous introduction. As I leaned into this notion of layers, I thought all of life is layers. You know, I'm a mother and then I'm a grandmother. I've layered career over career over career. My background was as a news director for 25 years, and I started in radio actually as the business manager, so I've always kind of straddled both sides. So I know a thing or two about layering, and one of the things I wanted to share with you was what we are doing at the Arts Council, the many layers to the work that we do there. And before I do that, I want to introduce you to one of our board members, Elisa Harris, who joins us this morning. And I would just like to make a slight correction. I did not single-handedly build an arts council. It is because of board members and community members who have supported us over the years. But I have had the privilege of serving as the founding executive director and now president and CEO of the lead agency for the arts here in southeastern North Carolina. So I'm going to whiz through these slides because I only have 20 minutes, right? And they're going to hold a 5-minute sign up, so I've got to get through a lot. And I'm going to move this way just so I can see the screen. No, I prefer here. Thank you. So a little background about the Arts Council of Wilmington and New Hanover, or what has become the Arts Council of Wilmington. Back in 2003, I, along with the then general manager of WHQR Public Radio, co-chaired the City of Wilmington's Arts and Cultural Affairs Task Force. And in 2003, we actually made a set of recommendations. The Arts Council of the Lower Cape Fear had closed its doors in 2001 for a number of reasons. City and county funding drying up, pardon me, the funding drying up, and then a spate of hurricanes going through your primary fundraiser, which is why I don't do outdoor fundraisers. It was the Piney Woods Fest, which was then at what was then known as Umacrae Park, now Longleaf Park. And you just cannot have a Bertha and a Fran a couple years in a row coming through your primary fundraiser. And so that pretty much sounded the death knell for the Arts Council of the Lower Cape Fear, which was that iteration of an arts council. And so we made our report in February of 2003 and urged the city, well, if you're not going to fund an outside agency, at the very least create an Office of Cultural Affairs within city government. That was very well received, you know, good job. And then it sat on a shelf for 5 years. And so myself and several other arts leaders, Ann Brennan, then head of Cameron Art Museum, Dan Brawley with Cucaloris, Tracy Wilkes with Dreams, we approached the State Arts Council about helping us to facilitate the reformation of an arts council here. And so these are the recommendations we made. This was submitted by the steering committee, which we were all working as part of, in collaboration with the staff of the North Carolina Arts Council. And it was at that time that we were able to cobble together a 3-year budget, very meager budget. The city of Wilmington gave us $40,000 a year in the first 3 years, in each of the first 3 years, and that was made payable or made available because of the sale of the Brooklyn Arts Center. It was a church. The city sold it to what became the Brooklyn Arts Center, and the proceeds, we got the $120,000 over the 3-year period, and the rest rolled into an endowment for the Arts Council, which now stands and still stands at around $250,000. We're able to draw down about $12,000 a year from that. So we are the designated county partner to the North Carolina Arts Council. We are the arts agency of record for both the city of Wilmington and New Hanover County. And most recently, we became the first intermediary organization for the endowment, which means that they gave us money to subgrant out to arts organizations. And last week, we sent out about $170,000 in checks to local arts organizations. So one of the things that we do is we do the market research. We are the local organizing partner to Americans for the Arts. Every 5 years, the most comprehensive study of arts organizations and their audiences, and nonprofit arts organizations, I might add, and their audiences. And for last year, which was the last year that the report was released, we showed a $75 million sector of the local economy, employing the full-time equivalent of 1,250 workers, and our audiences added another 56.3 million in spending. Because interestingly enough, the average person who goes to an event here spends about $44.94, about $45. That is not including the price of admission to the events. This is separate spending above and beyond the price of admission. And we do know that 1 out of every 3 attendees to an arts event in New Hanover County came from outside of the county. So we are putting people in hotels, we are putting people in restaurants, we are a really big part of the local economy. This is a picture of me speaking, giving the welcoming remarks at Arts Day in Raleigh. I am the past chair, immediate past chair of Arts North Carolina, which is our statewide advocacy group. We've had major successes in the past few years for arts funding in North Carolina, quiet as it's kept. The Arts Council is also increasingly relied upon to provide oversight of public art projects. And here, this is me at the podium as we unveiled one of 2 terrazzo floors that we commissioned at Wilmington International Airport. This is the other, the Loggerhead Labyrinth. And this I'm very, very proud of. A 20-foot tall stainless steel live oak tree with a variegated canopy by Greg Hall here that anchors the expansion at the airport. Yeah. This is art by Nugget. This is in the lobby of the new neuroscience hospital out at Novant. And this is Bijou Park, this is the building that the Arts Council is housed in. And we thought, if the city is doing something to make the park better, why don't we do something with our drab building? And so the building owners and the Arts Council and several downtown developers came together and created this in Bijou Park. And just to give you a little background about what this is, because people are saying, what is that? Well, Bijou was a theater, and so this was an approximation of people looking up at a movie screen, and Bijou means hidden gem. And so the artist created several hidden gems, the flora and fauna of our area, and so these people are actually looking up at the screen. And they work in triangles, and so the community was able to paint a lot of this mural, and we were happy about it. These are 2 other projects that we've worked on recently and unveiled actually in May. This is one of 2 murals on the new Michael Jordan Clinic on Greenfield Street. This is it on the building. And this is Michael and the artist, Carolyn Colby Millis. And this is the one on the front of the building. This was done by Amanda Levinson. And that's Amanda and Mike. And there's me and Mike. 5-minute sign. How much time do I have? I'm good. Because I will go on to talk about some of the other programs, larger programs, and won't get so as in-depth with them. Fourth Friday Gallery Nights, clearly the largest marketing event, an after-hour celebration of art and culture at 20 art galleries and art spaces in downtown Wilmington. Of course, one of our big successes. And it's next Friday, February 28th, for those of you who are interested in coming out to see artists, the new exhibitions. It's wonderful. We curate about 11 shows in our gallery each year. We open up the process, have a committee sit down and curate for the calendar year. And this is a picture of Dream students at ACES Gallery. We generally don't have a lot of student shows, but when there is one that becomes available, we seize it because we know that these kids are going to need, if this is something that they really want to pursue, they're going to need to interact with the public in defining what their visions are. This is the Wilmington Theater Awards, and my good friend John Staten from the Star News is here. Where's John? Well, John seized on, 12 years ago, this wonderful opportunity to celebrate the anywhere from 15 to 20 theater companies that we have in town. And so the Star News created the Wilmington Theater Awards. Fast track to maybe about 3 years ago, John came to me and asked whether the Arts Council would take it on, and we were happy to do it. It is a wonderful celebration. It takes place this year, March 26th at Thalian Hall, and it's just, we will recognize in 20 different categories the wonderful cast and crews that make up this really dynamic theater scene, which rivals cities many times our size. It's really incredible. And thank you, John, for your confidence in me. We also run the pedestrian art public sculpture program, so most of the sculptures that you will see downtown are Arts Council's. This is one of our in our permanent collection. It's called Straining to Be by Pole Hill. We generally put out about 6 new sculptures a year, and we have 6 new pieces out by Hannah Gibran from, I think he teaches at East Carolina University. He's in the Greenville area. He's just a dynamic sculptor. And then we support many organizations, including the Carolina Beach Mural Project, which is, I think they're up to 20 murals. It's wonderful how this small beach town has created themselves as an arts destination, not just for the surf and sand, but for the compelling murals and public art that they've put in Carolina Beach, in the town of Carolina Beach, and I'm very, very excited about it and happy to support it. In addition to the murals, we did the asphalt art. We supported that as well. As we work to fulfill our mission, which is to support artists, arts organizations, and audiences through innovative public-private partnerships that develop jobs, stimulate commerce, and showcase the region as an arts destination, we want to ensure that our artists and arts organizations are operating optimally. And so we do that through what was formerly called the Wilmington, excuse me, the, yes, water please. Oh, thank you. So it was called the Wilmington Art Summit, and we said, well, why are we confining ourselves? The issues that we are facing here in southeastern North Carolina are faced all over the Southeast. And so we've expanded the scope of this to include arts organizations primarily from the Carolinas, Virginia, and Georgia. And it's been, we held it in June of 2024, and it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and certainly something to build on. This we will hold every other year. And this was Andy Cohen, who is the Vice President of Research for Americans for the Arts. He was one of our keynote speakers at the last summit. And then we also host candidates forums so that we know where people who are aspiring to public office, where they stand on the arts. And so this is an example of one that we just did at Cameron Art Museum. And of course, I can't not have a presentation without HQR. And I only put it there to cue myself to talk about marketing. I always forget to talk about the marketing piece of what the Arts Council does. We publish a weekly newsletter 52 weeks out of the year. Comes out every Wednesday. It's a direct link to arts activities, events going on in our community. And it's also one of the other marketing tools is Around Town with Rhonda Bellamy on WHQR Public Media. I saw our First Lady here, Mary, and others who are associated with WHQR. And by way of background, I've been involved with WHQR for more than 30 years when they were first on Greenfield Street. Anybody know about that? That's where WHQ, you would know, Joe. And then I'll just close. Well, it's not a closing, but do you press play or do I press play?
Hi, I'm musician Ben Folds. I'm a native of North Carolina. It's where I got my start as a professional musician. And it's always good to be in the city of Wilmington. I believe young people need now more than ever what music has to offer. Music is where we find harmony. It enhances our ability to learn, to communicate, and to be inspired in all facets of our lives. The mission of the Arts Council of Wilmington and New Hanover County is to support artists and arts organizations through innovative partnerships that support jobs, commerce, and showcase Wilmington as an arts destination. It's important to get out and support the arts in Wilmington and find inspiration in what your city has to offer.
Right? I couldn't have said it better myself. There we go. To give you an idea of some of the projects that we're working on, here is an aerial shot of what we call the Wilmington Rail Trail. We were happy to be the lead agency that partnered with the Wilmington Metropolitan Planning Organization, the North Carolina DOT Rail Division, to imagine this site from 3rd Street to Brunswick as an urban linear park with room for sculptures and murals. That's what we were looking at initially. We are in the design and engineering phase of this. We presented the master plan, which we helped to fund in association with the aforementioned organizations. And the city of Wilmington very wisely said, well, since they're going in and doing the design and engineering for this phase, why don't we carry it all the way up to Archie Blue Park in Love Grove? And so what we saw as the half-mile section that was 6 city blocks is now going to be 1.7 miles. And so it's, I hope it happens in my lifetime. This is my partner, Ned Irvin here. Partner meaning he and I were the ones that approached the city asking if we could use it for that, and that's how this kick-started this whole effort to create this linear park. And then we're at the Q&A, and all within time, right? Great, great. You're welcome.
I'll just switch with you. Yes. So if anyone has any questions for Rhonda, raise your hand and we'll get a mic over to you and go from here. Yeah.
So poised. Oh goodness, you're so poised. You're so passionate, and you are such a blessing to this community. So thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you for that kind remark. Appreciate it. I will say that I was remiss, and only because I don't like every presentation to be the same, but I think it's important to note that we have subgranted totally this fiscal year more than $250,000. So left that out.
This is loud. I want to echo the amazing work that the council is doing, and I actually was fortunate enough to receive an artist grant last year, so I'm even more grateful. I wanted to ask if you're comfortable speaking to it, if you know if there's any impact on grants for the arts with everything going on. And again, I know that's a big question, so you feel free to punt, but it just has been, that's a question that I have, just what that means for our city, our county, and the council itself. But the work you're doing is amazing, and I'm grateful and impressed. Thank you for
Thank
supporting
you.
the arts.
And fortunately, none of our granting sources are funded through the federal government, so no impact.
Got a couple of questions because I couldn't quite hear when you were doing your presentation. Where could we see some of the more recent statues that have been put up?
There are 2 in Bijou Park, 3 at the Orange Street Landing, and 1 in front of the Hannah Block on 2nd and Orange Streets.
Okay. And then where was the art and the photos of you with Michael Jordan? Where was that?
That was at the unveiling of or the opening of the Michael Jordan Clinics on Greenfield Street in May.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think Ken Blevins from the Star News is the one, he sent me the picture, said, I took a picture of you and Mike taking a selfie. And so a friend emailed me, she's down in Atlanta, she said, look what I just came across on MSN. So that picture is making the rounds. Yes. Is that September?
Good morning, Rhonda.
Good morning.
Again, I think we all just want to echo so much. Thank you for your amazing work. In that clip with Ben Folds and the keyboards, I believe there's a whole project there, right, where the kids are getting keyboards through him. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, Ben, who just resigned this week, y'all know, right? So he is actually, and the announcement will be coming soon, is going to be bringing this program to New Hanover County. I first met Ben actually through my work with Arts North Carolina, and then he asked me to come to Charlotte and MC a fundraiser that he was doing for the North Carolina Arts Foundation at the Country Club of Charlotte last year. And so we have kind of developed a relationship, and Kara Spencer, who is also on his board of directors, is our legislative liaison for the city of Wilmington, actually. So it just all worked out that I was able to get him. He was so generous in giving us this time. How do we get involved? You get involved by emailing us at info@artswilmington. We are always looking for volunteers and board members. We don't do a lot of programming, and that's a distinction that I think is very important to make. Other than that, we don't do programming, and we don't have to because we have such a rich and vibrant arts community here. So I don't need to bring in an exhibit necessarily or a play because it's all being done here. But if there's something that we do that you'd like to help out with, we are more than happy to help, and also to foster volunteer opportunities with other organizations. You just pick your passion and we'll help you out. You're welcome. I thought I saw another.
Hey, Rhonda, it's me, back here, way back here.
Okay, Mary.
Is there something that, I'm relatively new in town, so I'm learning all of what's here to offer, but is there something you see, having been here for a long time, that we need to develop as a community, something that's missing in the arts community that we need to address?
Yes, maker spaces. I think we're going to be in good shape in terms of our facilities, with several major facilities expected to have major renovations. UNCW's Keenan Auditorium, they already have $24 million in funding to recreate Keenan Auditorium, which is 50 years old and no modifications in 50 years. So I'm excited about that. Shane Fernando, one of our board members, is also doing some great things down at Thalian Hall. They are getting ready to announce a major transformation of that space. So we're going to have spaces, some more gathering spaces for our organizations, but it is the maker spaces that we have a dearth of here in Wilmington. And as, land values rise, it becomes, we're getting priced out of places. And that's often the case with the arts. We go in, we make cities livable and breathable and livable, and then we can't afford them. We price ourselves out of the areas that we have created. I won't wax further on that. All right. Thank you, guys.